Guess what? I got two pieces of advice for you. First is to slow down. Second, pay attention to the details when you're slowing down. There's the doves, the lovey-doveys are back. Just in time for a pretty major winter storm coming in. It's been 70s, almost 80 degrees of recent, and yet a winter storm is coming in. Where? Here in northern New Mexico. It's probably minutes away. You can tell there's some snow falling right there on Azul. Azul. There's a mesa out there. It's close. It'll be here. It'll be here soon, maybe even during this walk. So that doesn't stop me from going outside, getting the exercise. And yet, I've been talking about it a lot in terms of slowing down. And when you slow down, it gives you a chance to pay attention. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to how you are feeling. Pay attention to things that need your attention. Maybe some things you're avoiding. Maybe there's some things that you are absolutely afraid of. Can you admit that to yourself? What are you afraid of right now? Comment down below. There's got to be at least 2 to 3 things that you're afraid of, that you're not giving the attention and the time and taking action towards. You're avoiding. Why? Why are you avoiding it? Why are you allowing for fear, for doubt to sink in enough that you're allowing yourself to be distracted? And thus, you're sinking your own ship. Do you realize this? You're sinking your own ship. It's like Mayday, Mayday, and you're the one sinking it. The great news is that if you're sinking your ship, that means you can also rescue your ship. And it really takes just a mental shift. However, that mental shift should also come with some big time life changes, right? Looking at a bigger picture, understanding a bigger picture. We get so focused in on our problems. I'll give you an example. When I go and volunteer for disasters, we're talking about natural disasters. It's a big part of my heart. It's something I haven't done now probably almost going on a few years, right? But there was probably about 7 years I was going out 10, 20 times a year to natural disasters, volunteering. So I've seen the worst. Hurricane, tornado, fire, flood. I've seen the worst. And every time I'd go out there, regardless of how I was feeling, regardless of what's going on in my life, every time I'd go out on a disaster, I'd come back with a fresh perspective. Because the things that I was maybe avoiding in my life, the problems of my life, they didn't feel so big anymore. Because I had just come from a destruction zone of natural disaster where there's loss of life, loss of all material possessions for people. I mean, not everyone, but the ones that we're helping, it's all material possessions gone. When you have that perspective shift, it changes you. You're like, shit, man, I ain't got problems. My problems ain't too bad right now. Which ultimately should help you to shift towards being more grateful. Gratitude. To be grateful for what you got. And also, it's not bad for you to be ambitious, maybe for what you haven't achieved yet. But don't get caught up in the pipe dreams. Come up with a fucking plan. Yes, a plan to achieve your goals, to achieve the things that matter to you. I've been talking here lately. It's like this game called life ends in everyone being unalived, right? We have the same fate, every single one of us. And yet, why are so many people out there playing it safe? Why are you playing it safe? Why are you getting emotionally stimulated about things that you have no control over? Versus the things you do have control over, you have emotional stimulation there, but mostly you're avoiding facing your fears, facing the things that you actually do have control over. I'm trying to give you a little nudge of encouragement to say, if this game ends the same way for each and every one of us, why are you playing it safe? Why are you playing small? What is holding you back? Your life does mean something. It means a lot. And yet, because you've been through a lot, many people, myself included, for many years, I held myself back. And yet I've had to go on this deep dive journey, sobriety, asking for help, healing the emotional wounds, reprogramming the negative thinking and the limiting beliefs, and really setting a daily practice that continues to fill my cup, to hold me accountable, and to keep me moving in a positive direction. There are some absolute days I am crawling, not wanting to get out of bed, versus the days I'm having a great time, but I still have days like that. The thing is, though, I still find a way. Sitting and processing my feelings, the power of the pen and the paper it's incredible, right? Yes, I'm trying to sell you an incredible resource, the 1% Better Everyday Journal. Run. If you've been swerving on getting that, you don't need that. Just get yourself a fucking notebook and a pen or a pencil. And when you feel overwhelmed, when you're feeling like you suck, take 30 minutes and write down some of these feelings. Write down some of the fears that you're having. And beyond that, you could also say, okay, what's the biggest fear? What is coming up? Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Aren't you interested in that? Aren't you curious to figure out more about yourself? The details, what makes you tick? What sets you back? What causes you to do things that you don't like doing anymore? You have the power in you to change anything you want. For some of you, it'll take accountability. For others, it's going to take some sort of a upheaval of life. I call that a rock bottom moment. And that sucks. That sucks that we're that stubborn that we can't just come peacefully, that we can't just say, you know what, I need to make some changes. It's about time I start doing that. Let me figure this stuff out. Some of you are doing it, and I'm really proud of you for doing it. I'm cheering on you. I appreciate all the messages I receive, the comments that I read about people that are actually starting to make some shifts, starting to make some changes. And it's not easy. But why should it be? Why should it be easy? I know I wished it was easy for a lot of years. There's a lot of years I was like, man, why can't this, I want this to just be easy. But there's something about a day when it's like really tough, you're not really feeling it, but you have this inner voice that you develop inside of you that's kind of like your coach, kind of like your, super dad, like, come on, you got this, or your super mom, come on, let's just go do it. You'll feel way better after. And it's always true. When you go and face something and do it, you always feel better. We always feel better. It's the hype. It's the psyching ourselves up, which is really overthinking. And yet, maybe you just need to slow down a little bit. Slow your talk, slow your walk. Slow down all the thoughts. There's actually a practice that I've been using lately that's pretty impactful when it comes to the overthinking, when it comes to the negative thinking. If you can be self-aware enough to realize when you're having like some really negative thoughts, part of having more self-mastery is truly understanding that you do have control of what's going on in there. When you have given away your power, you don't feel like you have control. And you feel like you're outgunned, outnumbered, and it's time to take your power back. And one way that you can take your power back is when you catch yourself going down that negative track, thinking about all those bad things, you can literally say, no, not welcome, stop. No, not welcome, stop. Here's the kicker though. You're going to have to be relentless in order for that ego, that subconscious mind to get the point. It's not going to just be like, oh, okay, I guess we see who's in charge now. No, it's going to test you. You're going to be tested. So you have to be relentless. No, not welcome, stop. No, not welcome, stop. No, not welcome, stop. And then you need to also shift to say, instead of thinking about worst case scenarios or negative outcomes or guilt from years and years ago, things that you can't change right now, you can literally say, instead of thinking about these things, I now choose to focus my mental energy towards fill in the blank, getting healthy, right? Improving my emotional state of being, heal my emotions, healing my trauma, starting a business, right? Improving my relationship, first with myself and then with others. Whatever it is, like you have to set the standard. You get to set the policy. However, you're going to have to continue to reinforce it. The same lesson is when you start to learn what boundaries are and setting boundaries. I had to do this a few years ago with my own mother. I set a boundary. It was kind of like the first time in my life that I set a boundary. I'm like, I'm going to try this because she's not getting it. And so I set a boundary. She didn't like it. She got really, really combative with me. And what was good is I was doing it in love. I wasn't doing it to be mean and spiteful and create distance and reject her. It was just like, hey, for my own mental well-being, right? It's safe. Can you tell yourself that it's safe to prioritize your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health over the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health of anyone else? Can you tell yourself that? Can you believe that? And the way it worked is I put a boundary. This was just something very simple about the way we were communicating and when, time really. You know, my mother had a pattern of communicating with me really late at night, not in the best mindset, and I didn't like it. And I said, look, if you want to talk, call me in the morning, text me in the morning. But if you text me after this time, because I had seen a pattern that was no longer working for my mental health, for my emotional health, that I basically said, here's what you get. You're not going to get a response. Right? Guess what? She had a big tantrum. She didn't like that because she took it as I was trying to tell her what to do. As I'm not telling you what to do. You keep doing it. I'm just letting you know that there's a new response. That if you do that, do not expect a response. And I did this in love. I did this in sincere love. Everything she was saying, she started kind of like going off on me. I said, I love you so much, right? I love you. I know. Yes, I love you so much. And here's the thing. She tested it. It's my own mother. She tested it many times. And I held my ground. I got the text late at night and I didn't respond. We didn't talk for, it was a while, maybe up to about a year, right? Maybe not fully a year, but maybe only a handful of times in a year that we talked because she was not appreciating that. But here's the thing, is now that even a few more years has gone by, when we do get together, I can be fully present and I realize that she now sees me for who I am now, not for the little boy that she's in charge of. Not for the little boy that she has authority over. And so that's a paradigm shift that a lot of people need to start to give themselves permission that your mental health, your energy, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health, it's safe for you to distance yourself from people, no matter who it is. If those people are going to cause you to compromise or to cause for there to be more deterioration. And a lot of times, we're just kind of feeling like we got to settle. And that's kind of a victimization. That's what you want to know what that really is? It's called codependency. You're codependent. Right? And usually when people are codependent, that means your trauma and their trauma are finding comfort in each other, but you don't know how to really care for yourselves. And ultimately, that means you can't care for the other person. It's gonna come up short. It always does. That's been my experience. Comment down below if you've had a different experience where you've been with someone that you're codependent, they're codependent. For some reason, your traumas and your emotional wounds counterbalance each other, that you don't have the makeup to break up, and the falling out and the distancing and the silent treatment and all the fun stuff that happens when you're putting all types of energetic pressure on another person to provide your happiness, to provide you with love, because you don't know what it is to be happy about yourself. You don't know what it is to love yourself, to take care of yourself. And ultimately, through my experience, I've had to create a lot of separation with a lot of people in order to have the time and the space and the focus and the reduced amount of distractions for me to put in the real work, that emotional heavy lifting, to really figure myself out. And I'm still working on things, a lot of things. I have not arrived yet, but I sure am way down the road. And that gives me a lot of joy. That brings me a lot of peace, knowing that I have I have so much self-awareness. I have so much self-mastery. And I can be very proud of myself in a very healthy, positive way, knowing that I've put in that work, knowing that I know what it is to take care of myself. And yet, I want to just continue improving each and every day, little by little. I get a little better every single day, and time hasn't stopped yet. So every day I don't take days off and I learn lessons. I'm open to that growth mindset. And I hope that you'll join me on this path, because I know that this path, this journey, this spiritual awakening, that's what it really is. It's going from being ignorant about the big picture of life, our existence, to being awakened and aware and fully understanding and seeing, what is this really all about, right? Is it about complaining that it's been spring weather for the past month. And tomorrow I'll probably record a video and I might be in snowshoes. Who knows, right? And I'm going to have a smile and I'm going to love it. And I'm loving it right now because I know that I don't get to control this. I get to control this, what's in me, what's in here first, right? And then what shows up here. And I know that I have a lot of tools in my toolbox for how to shift when it doesn't feel good, to help it to feel more neutral, and if not, even just positive, to reframe it all. And one of my go-tos is certainly the journal. Sitting there, writing it down, sorting through, how am I really feeling? Is this an illusion? Am I deceiving myself, or is there some real danger involved in this thinking, or is it just me and my mind and my ego playing tricks on me? It's time to take your power back. I hope that you will consider that. If you're looking for some help, reach out, greg@resultskillexcuses.com. If you would like to order one of those 1% better everyday journals, click that link down below. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one, because you know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.